大家好，首先告诉朋友们几条快讯。根据加密币相关媒体的快讯消息，MicroStrategy 于上周五正式的被吸纳到纳斯达克100指数成分股当中，这将为增加了更多的交易机会，也为持有纳指100类投资组合的基金经理，与效仿这个纳指100投资组合的投资人呢，都会增持这家公司股票，这样就会进一步的推升股价，也为该股加入其他的 ETF 基金成为重要的成分股提供了条件。另据 Cointelegraph 的消息，根据去中心制统计中心 DeFi Llama 平台的数据显示，以太坊币，也就是 Ethereum 系统区块链的 Liquidit Staking 流动性锁定储备的 TVL， 也就是总锁定金额，2024年全年大幅跳升，从年初的1月1日的2亿8400万美元，截止到12月15日跳升到172.6亿美元，增幅为6000%。这种流动性储备 （Liquid Staking） 就有点像我们普通的活期银行存款，有一点点回报，就是从以太坊或者相关平台的运作费用当中，是因为您的储备帮助他们增加了系统安全与稳定的效用呢，而获得有限的分成的收入，可以随时提取，但是有关的风险也很高。另外呢，是另据有关加密币媒体的报道，日本一名与比特币化名创始人 Satoshi Nakamoto 有同名的 Satoshi 的议员，在12月11日向日本议会正式上书，提出日本政府的储备金当中应该增持比特币。而目前有意在政府储备金当中增持比特币的国家有美国、俄罗斯，还有巴西。波兰竞选政客蒙特兹也在竞选演说当中表示，如果当选之后会增持比特币为政府的财政储备。另外呢，在美国金融市场方面，在下个星期的重要事件就是今年最后一次美联储的议息会议，估计会持续降息25个基本点。但是美国金融市场会有哪些反应？又对加密币，特别是比特币又有哪些反应呢？这都是我们要高度关注的一个重要的经济信息。不过接下来我们先听听著名的理财专家对明年标准普尔500指数全年走势的一个预估。
I think the Fed cuts next week, another 25 basis points, and then I think they're going to be on hold, at least for the first quarter, maybe into the second quarter of next year. But I think the economy here in the United States will probably feel some pressure, especially as it relates to things like manufacturing and employment. I think those trends are actually slowing. The service sector is actually holding up pretty well. I don't think we go into a recession, but I think we could get somewhere between 2 and 2.5% GDP growth. I think as we get into around that 2%, 2.5% GDP growth, the market starts to get nervous. The market begins to worry that the Fed is on hold, interest rates are too high and sort of strangling the economy or at least putting pressure on the economy. And I think the Federal Reserve gets wind of that. And then I think they start to cut rates by mid-year. I wouldn't be surprised to see some selling develop in the S&P 500 early on in 25. People start to take profits. They lock in profits. They reallocate assets because they're running passive strategies. And once they reallocate assets and take profits, that selling pressure begins to develop and more selling pressure occurs. And then I think as we get into that worry about the economy, we could actually see, the S&P 500 get down to like 5180, 5125, something like that by mid-year. But I think as the Federal Reserve begins to cut rates again or further in the second half of 25, that could actually lift stock prices up. The market starts to feel a little bit better about lower interest rates. You start to see bond yields come down a little bit. You don't see as many tariffs as Trump's been sort of threatening. And then I think the S&P could actually close 2025 at 7,000, which is a pretty good year.
谢谢您的收看，我们下次再见。